Bye.
We are learning Mishnah Sotah, Perek Gimel, Chapter 3, Mishnah Hey, Mishnah 5. Now, the previous Mishnah had mentioned that it is possible that a merit on the woman's part will delay the effects of the bitter water. So now we have an opinion that argues with that. Rabbi Shimon says, Ein zechus toila b'mayim. Merit will not delay the effects of the water. Ein zechus toila b'mayim hamarim. Merit will not delay the effects of the bitter waters. Now he explains why not. What's his argument to why not? If you're going to say that merit could suspend the effects of the bitter water, you will, the word madha means you will fade. What that means to say is, you will make the fear of the water fade from the minds of all women who have to drink it, because they will rely on their merit to survive, and they will continue to deny their guilt. Meaning, we want them to admit. If they did commit adultery, we want them to admit, and then have to go through the whole process. Well, if they know that a merit could delay things, then they're going to rely on their merits, which they think they may have, to be able to survive. They're not going to admit their guilt. Now, to me, this is interesting because it said in the previous Mishnah that it could go for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. So at some point, it's going to catch up. But at the same time, if they know there is the possibility, apparently Rabbi Shimon's argument is if there's the possibility of survival, and there can be a survival even up to 3 years, if there's a possibility of survival, then they're not going to be afraid of it so much because they can think they'll get away with it. And therefore, that is one reason why he's saying it can't be. It can't be there's such a thing that a merit could suspend the effects of the bitter waters, because then women won't be afraid of them. That's number one. And number two, and for the women who were innocent and they drank the water, you're now going to basically slander those women. Why? Because people are going to say, they're really impure. They really have committed adultery. Just that a merit has suspended it for them. Meaning, so a woman's going to drink, right? She drank it because she knew she was innocent. But people are going to say, she's not really innocent. It's the merit is delaying things. So these are the reasons, these are the arguments for Rabbi Shimon to say that there is no such thing. That if she's guilty, it's going to hit right away. Because otherwise, the woman won't be afraid. And otherwise, people will basically slander those who are innocent. That's Rabbi Shimon's opinion. Rabbi meaning Rabbi Yehuda Nasir Judah the prince said, he responded, and he said like this: merits will delay the effects of the bitter waters. However, ve'ena yoledis, she will not be able to bear children anymore. Ve'ena mashbachas, and her situation will not improve. Now, what that means is like this. Let me just finish reading the words. Ve'ena mashbachas, her situation will not improve. Elamis navna v'hilechas, but rather she wastes away gradually. L'seif himesa b'samisa, and at the end she will die the death that comes along with the bitter waters. So Rebbe says like this: when you have a merit that's delaying, it's not like, okay, everything's fine. Everything's not fine. Right away, things will start happening. Number one, she will not be able to give birth to children anymore. Number two, her situation will not improve. Now, let me explain what that means. And this is based on what the Torah says. If a Sotah who is innocent drinks the water, not only does she survive, but she's even blessed if she's innocent. What do you mean she's blessed? She becomes strong and healthy. Any illness she might have is cured. She gives birth soon afterward. She gives birth with greater ease, and the children to whom she gives birth will be more handsome. That's the Torah says this. The Torah says that they are. The Mishna says this. The Torah alludes to it. Yeah, the Torah alludes to it for sure. I don't remember all the words, but Torah definitely mentions that. The nix of it is Razara. She's gonna bear a seed. That means to say that's just one example of the fact that she is actually get some blessings for the fact that she was innocent. Okay, all right. Well, this woman, when she has the merits, she does not improve. She doesn't all of a sudden now become healthier. She doesn't have easy bearing children, but rather what happens is, so again, if she's guilty, the mayor is going to protect her from immediate death, but there's still going to be these. It's not going to protect her in the sense that she'll have this improvement to her. And as the Mishnah says, what's going to happen is, since the health of a guilty woman decline, and now what happens then is, and then it says l'sayfi meisa b'isa. At the end, meaning after however long the merit delays things, she dies from this death of the Sotah. That means, as time goes on, she wastes, and it says she wastes away gradually, and in the end, she dies from that death of the Sotah, meaning her thigh collapses and her stomach bloats, which is what typically happens, which is the effects of the Sotah water on the woman who is guilty. Mm-hmm. But the point is that she starts wasting away. It's like you start seeing the effect on her. It doesn't describe what that means exactly. But besides for the fact that you don't have the improvements, it says slowly she wastes away. We're saying slowly she wastes away. They don't exactly say what wasting away means. It could mean that whatever effects that there are that come from the water, like we said before, her eyes bulge and things like that. Gradually, may mean that gradually you see all that on her until eventually what happens is that she dies through her thigh collapsing and her stomach bloating. But all the things that were mentioned before that happened to the woman, as I mentioned, said her turns pale, her eyes bulge, her face swells up. All this, gradually happens to her. And therefore, Rebbe's point is no one's going to lose their fear because of the fact that a merit is going to delay things, because it's still going to be obvious right away that she was guilty, because there will be some effects there right away that everybody's going to be able to see. And therefore, Rebbe argues there's no reason to be concerned that by the fact that there is such a thing as a merit that's delaying things, that it will take away the fear from women, it's going to slander other women. It's not like when a merit delays things, she walks away perfectly fine. She doesn't have the benefits of the Sotah. She wastes away slowly until eventually she dies the death that the Sotah water brings upon the woman who committed adultery. Have a wonderful day.
Goodbye.